Night touchdown highlights, plus Dick Goddard and your weekend forecast.
And Kobe Bryant, the hitman, and the police sting. The news is coming up next.
The new 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix with optional driver's package has aluminum wheels, wide track handling, and the largest V6 in its class. It's a rush, hour after hour. And now get a 2-year smart lease on a 2004 Grand Prix with driver's package for around $219 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See your Northern Ohio Pontiac dealer.
When the Halloween weekend's moon rises over Cedar Point, all the monsters come out to play. The littlest monsters, the biggest monsters, ghastly, ghostly, even beastly monsters. More tricks to make you scream in fright. New treats to make you squeal with delight. Halloween weekends at Cedar Point. Monster fun at Monster Size Park. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays through October 26th. Cedar Point. Monster fun.
Coming up next, search dogs join the hunt for a missing 11-year-old girl as the effort to find her goes nationwide.
Isabel is gone, but she took several lives with her. The latest on the aftermath of a hurricane.
And Maurice Clarett could be tackling Ohio State University in court. Fox 8 News at 10 begins now. Trained dogs comb the Cleveland neighborhood where an 11-year-old girl has disappeared nearly 1 week after she vanished. The hunt for Shakira Johnson turns into a nationwide search, a national organization that helps find missing children in Cleveland tonight, and they brought search dogs with them.
Fox 8 News reporter Brandy Sowers is live. She's at the 4th District Police Headquarters with the latest. Brandy, how long are they going to have the dogs here in town to help out?
Well, these canine units could be here all night. It really depends. They're out searching as we speak. They're with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they're just hoping to find some sign of Shakira Johnson, the missing girl.
That's Blue. Yeah, that's Blue.
Blue is one of 4 dogs now in Cleveland sniffing for signs of 11-year-old Shakira Johnson.
These are actually tracking dogs.
The dogs are trying to track the steps Shakira took when she was last seen near East 110th and Benham in Cleveland. They were brought here by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
We were able to get them here, and then the center makes them available, of course, free of charge to the police department.
They started at 5 p.m. outside Shakira's home on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Curious onlookers wondered how the dogs would be able to detect her scent because it's been nearly a week since she was last seen here.
You shed a lot of cells, every hour, and these cells do not go away, and that's what the dog hits on, even though quite a bit of time has passed and there's been a hurricane through. They tell us that actually the moisture does rejuvenate the cells.
After 2.5 hours of sniffing, the first dog found nothing and was finished for the night. But the search did not end. Another bloodhound was brought in. He sniffed one of Shakira's shoes and began his shift while the others waited for their turns.
We'll stay out until we're satisfied that we've exhausted, every avenue that she might have, traveled through.
And this isn't the organization's only role in searching for Shakira. Pop-up advertisements showing her picture are now being seen on computer screens all across the country. The national organization does all of this because it's had many success stories in the past.
We're hoping that we have a happy ending to this one as well.
And the dogs are really in charge tonight. They will decide when this search ends. And of course, we have a crew with them, so we will let you know if they find anything throughout the night. Bill and Stacey, on a side note, America's Most Wanted has contacted Cleveland Police. They are interested in possibly featuring Shakira's story on one of their shows.
Now, that's good because John Walsh does great work with that show, Brandy.
Sure does.
Back to the dogs. We saw them sniff something of Shakira's. Does it seem like they're picking up anything tonight?
Well, interestingly enough, the second dog was dropped off on East 106th Street and was able to detect Shakira's scent all the way back 5 streets away to her exact home. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, she's there, but they can actually pick up where she was at one point.
Well, we're hoping so much concern out there that she's found safe and alive.
We can only hope.
Brandy, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brandy. Well, she didn't stay long, but she certainly left her mark. Isabel is being blamed for at least 17 deaths and billions of dollars in damage all along the East Coast. And millions of people still don't have any power tonight. Fox's Doug Luzader has the latest details and some new pictures for us.
They are still struggling to get power back on here in Virginia, but this place is relatively dry. And if you follow the path of Isabel north to places like Maryland, it's a different story. The city of Annapolis, once alongside the Chesapeake Bay, now part of it. Baltimore flooded as well. Power is slowly returning here, but the real cleanup won't begin until the water recedes.
I can't even give you an estimate on the damage yet. A lot of these houses are some of them 300 years old. There's a lot of wet basements and wet foundations.
Even Washington, D.C. battling floodwaters and power outages. Damage assessments still underway in North Carolina. Cape Hatteras here, closest to the eye of Isabel. Back in Virginia Beach, it is primarily wind damage, downed trees and power lines. We visited this glass shop the day before the hurricane hit as they were boarding up. The day after Isabel, the boards are off. Their windows are fine. Some of their customers didn't do so well. The windshield's broken from flying debris, but that's about it.
Damage was less than what we expected. We have a lot of auto glass, but not that much residential or commercial damage.
It is flooding they had feared in Virginia Beach, but the seawall held.
Our hurricane protection project worked, and we're very grateful not to have sustained too many major losses.
They know it could have been much worse here, and farther north in Maryland, it was. This process of getting the power turned back on is difficult, it's slow, and it is dangerous. In fact, one power company employee down in North Carolina was electrocuted while trying to get the electricity back on. Reporting from Virginia Beach, I'm Doug Luzader, Fox 8 News.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Now, we're a long way from the hardest hit areas, but we did feel Isabel's wrath all the way here in Cleveland. Even though the winds weren't hurricane force, there were gusts strong enough to topple these trees. This tree came down early this morning along I-90, closing 2 lanes of traffic at Lakeshore, and another one toppled over in Lakewood. Also caused some problems, including several accidents, but some people made the best of it. They tried to get out on Lake Erie and do some surfing with the waves, so some people had a little fun. Dick Goddard is going to have the latest on our weekend weather forecast in just a few minutes.
Other news for you tonight at 10. Police in one northeast Ohio city stunned when they learned the identity of a burglar targeting churches. Fox 8 News reporter Jack Shea has the story of a cop who's confessed to breaking the law he was sworn to uphold.
A carpenter is called upon to repair damage done during a break-in early Thursday morning at Central Presbyterian Church in Massillon. Video cameras inside capture images of the thief as he violates the sanctity of the church, kicking in doors in search of a safe holding collection donations. While viewing the videotape, Massillon police discovered that the thief is one of their own, Patrolman Michael J. Flera, an 11-year veteran of the police force.
Everybody here is just, I think, a combination of stunned, shocked, angry. Of course, it's a major betrayal of trust, both ours and the citizens.
Officer Flera was on duty and in uniform at the time of the break-in. The chief of police says Flera recently was divorced and had been having some personal problems that the chief would not discuss.
It's saddening in a way, it's sickening in a way, but mostly everybody just can't believe it happened and that he was involved. It's just nothing you expect.
Patrolman Flera is apparently now repentant. He has contacted Central Presbyterian and 2 other Massillon churches to apologize for breaking in. The other targets of the wayward cop's desperate search for money, Wesley United Methodist and St. George Greek Orthodox Church. Father Constantine Shepis of St. George says $120 was taken by the thief who broke a window to gain entrance to the church office early Thursday. While man's law may not forgive Michael Flera, Father Shepis is prepared to give him absolution.
I'm not a lawyer, I'm a priest, and I believe what my Savior Christ says, that the person who really repents, must be forgiven.
Jack Shea, Fox 8 News in Massillon.
Thank you, Jack. Flera has been suspended from the police force without pay after his arraignment this morning. He was released on a personal bond. Well, convicted of killing his father by setting fire to their home, a Massillon man will now spend at least 25 years in prison. Stark County jury sentenced 19-year-old Jonathan Anderson to life with no opportunity for parole for at least 25 years. Anderson was found guilty of both aggravated murder, aggravated arson. The trial judge will make the sentence official come Monday.
The Maurice Clarett controversy is still heating up. The former Ohio State running back has filed a lawsuit. Fox 8 Columbus Bureau Chief John Damschroeder has been on top of this story from the very beginning, and he has the latest.
I just like to say there's 2 sides to every story. Thank you. Last week's hints became today's legal bombshell. Clarett claims information obtained in the NCAA investigation is the basis of the criminal charges OSU police filed against him. Clarett's suit says that forced self-incrimination and denied him equal protection. Now Clarett wants answers from Ohio State under oath. Why was this police report on the thefts from his car, April 17th, marked closed? What guidance or instructions were given Clarett concerning the police report? And what did Ohio State Athletic Director Andy Geiger tell Clarett about how to answer questions on the police report?
There are issues of obstruction raised by the questions in the interrogatory.